Hello guys, and welcome back to another Let's Play episode 24 of our Satisfactory Update for Let's Play series, where we take on the world. Yes, we've already got through a lot, but last week, unfortunately, due to some problems with the files, we did skip a bit. So we're going to go over and talk about what we missed by accident, and then we will carry on with the factory. Last week, we ended up extending our train Nexus station outwards, and you can see it's much bigger than it was before, and we've also consolidated all our lines along this lovely ramp, which heads to this wonderful area here. And the idea is that each area goes to either the west of the map, the northwest, the southwest. I mean, we've been talking about this for a while, but we're going to be breaking off the tracks and then running them along this one area, which will hopefully be supported as well. And what I should mention is, if you'd like a particular video on doing train layouts, then do let me know. We'll probably do one anyway when the trains are all updated. But if you'd like to see one before then let me know, and we might get around to doing that soon. And of course, all of these rails will go to their designated train station. You can see the one that we've done in the background all the way over there. So let's head over there now, and I'll talk about that. So this is the first concept of our train station, where we're going to be pulling all the items and resources to our factory. Thanks for the autosave there. If we go in a little bit closer, you'll see what we've actually done. So I wanted to keep the factory, or the train station, as slimlined as possible. So as you can see, we have all of the entrances to the train station really close together. In fact, if we go under here, it's probably better. Let me in. Or maybe inside. Close it up. You saw nothing. If we go around here, you can see how we've got everything on as close as possible. And the only way that we're able to do this is actually to place the conveyor first and then build the elevator. And that gives it this extra tight look. We've got this all along. Some items will be pulled in from the outside on that side, and others will be pulled in from here. This was the other thing that we were doing, which we kind of touched on lightly last week. So as you can see, we're pulling in all the items from the miners, and we've kept everything on the same grid, which we did touch on. And unfortunately, I worked out that we've done the train station, either this one or the train Nexus, wrong, in that we need to be able to sort the items. And the problem with the train Nexus is that we've designated the front two freight stations, or we've designated each freight train station to a particular item. So the problem here at this station is these front two are designated for iron, these next two for copper, these two here, and we're going to use this whole kind of system. However, if we're doing each and every section of the map, not every part of the map, if we look here, will have, for example, Caterium. I know there's Caterium down here, but maybe there's not. Oh, there is Caterium there. Not every section of the map will have bauxite. So, for example, down here, yet we still have a station designated for that. But the problem is that perhaps this train station has more iron. So I've totally mixed up my inputs. And we're going to have to work out how to create an actual sorting floor that sorts items immediately coming from these train stations, rather than being taken directly to the next layer. I don't quite know how I'm going to do that. That could be problematic. But as I'm not feeling 100% today due to just being at the dentist, that's probably why I sound a little bit different today, guys. Please forgive me. But instead of me trying to work out and explain how I'm going to be doing the sorting floor, today we're going to be doing more distributing, getting all the resource buses to the train station. So bear with me. We've got a lot to do. So I've managed to belt all of the resources in this area, with the exception of the uranium, which is up here, to the train station. So we have everything belted up, which is fantastic. The only thing now is that we need to do the other side over there. And hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll be able to put all the resources into these, 6 sections of the train station. Otherwise, we're probably going to have to double this up. Which I'm kind of against, because that means we have to double up the train station Nexus as well. Yes, so we are going to be now pulling all of the resources from this side of the factory over to this train station, these inputs. So you can see we've got 6 train stations, and I really hope that these 6 freight stations, will be able to take all of the resources. If not, we may have to extend this, which I'm not looking forward to, because if we extend this, we also have to extend this again, which I'm really not looking forward to. There's so much. So with a build like this, I should probably mention how we do the busing of items. The main thing that I feel is important is, first of all, to build concrete foundations. This allows you to neatly connect all the buses together much neater. So that is why we build out with the buses first. I'll show you on the next view, and then we do the conveyors. So for this bit, with the sun rising, we're going to do a little time lapse of me connecting this. You'll see me doing the bus, the concrete bus, to connect to the next part, and then you'll also see me doing the conveyors, which will be just a nice little thing. So, Bits, you do your stuff. So as you can see, we have now brought the bus line all the way to the center. We've also done the concrete bus so that the foundations for it, so we know where everything's going to go. And though we will improve on the general looks eventually on this, for now this will work perfectly. We're going to connect the conveyors up so that they're all running alongside one another. And we've got a total of, I think it's 6 conveyors to put. So we'll probably put them all on the same bus line on 2 tiers. We'll put the furthest, this one, because it's the furthest out, on the furthest away. So we'll put it on the right hand side of the bus. And then we'll put the third one of these, so that one, on the closest to the bus. It's just going to make it easier for us to keep it all neat and tidy. So we want one there, we want this one to be centered here, and then the third one here. And we'll do this throughout this recording. Now for these corners, we need to go 2 to make it a perfect circle. So we can, a perfect right angle. So we can actually go to this point. So if we bring this over to here, and then around, so it's in the correct position, we can do the same with this one. But of course we need to bring it 2 forwards, then to the center, and now we have this one, which can bring to there, bring out to here, and then to there. Perfect, we've got a nice clean line here. We just need to continue with the rest of it. One thing that I did want to show you really quickly is doing the neat lines just across here. We can obviously improve on this a little bit if we wanted to, but always when you're doing diagonal stretches, start with the middle line first. It gives you something to work on in reference to, so that we know that when we do this, we're going to want to go here. And obviously you know where the middle is going to be because you can go on the cross. So this will just help you neaten up your diagonals. And then if we grab this one, you can see it's working from here again. Ta-da! Again, we can clean up the other end if we wanted to. As you can see, we've belted up all of the first 3. In fact, I say the first 3. There are only 2 miners here, but what we're going to do is bring them up, and we're going to use the the elevators for that, and then we're going to run them with right angles across the top. So I'll show you how to do that now. So the first thing that we're going to do is run these belts across. They're all going to go along here and then across there. Now we need to add the elevators, and the important thing here is to bring it to above. I think that's right. We can check by placing one of these. It is not right. We want them to be in line with that. So, needs to go to that height, and this one needs to go to this height. Now, because this one's closer, we're going to need to have that either on this line or that line. And this one will have to go on the line further away. So let's say we want to place it here. We're going to grab this position and then go 2 across. So 1, 2, I think it's there. And then hopefully, fingers crossed. Okay, we have a right angle. Ta-da! Although I think it's quite a long one. And we're going to do the same on this one as well. So that should be about there. I can actually bring this closer if I can find the right position. For example, that can go there. Then that can go there. Now when we do these, if I grab that, say we go to about here. Can now bring these lines across, like so, and then this one above. Like that. Nice. So there you go, that's how we're going to do nice little buses along here. We can actually lower this down so it's closer to the lower level, should we wish, by building on a 1 meter foundation underneath this. And that's just going to make it look a lot more compact, but I don't feel the need for something like this. Next, we're just going to move it all along to there, and then hopefully we'll start bringing them into the train station. So we've now brought all of the lines together. I must admit that we've still got stuff that we need to do. One of the big things at the moment is power. We have no power connecting all of these up, but we will get around to that. That's the next thing that we need to do once we've brought the rest. Once we've brought the rest of the buses and connected these with the train station, you can see here. And the idea is we will bring it up this long ramp and then bring that round across the side of it. Let's get in there. Let's get in there. Last night I was thinking to myself, we need to do something about our train nexus because we're not able to sort everything that we need onto the floors. What we need to actually do is sort everything that's leaving the station, and we just don't have enough space. But the truth is, we do. We have plenty of space because if you look just there, by just there I mean just here, we've got about 4 floors of free space that we're just not using at the moment. So what we need to do is bring the floors down, bring all those lifts a little bit further down, and then start those above floors for sorting all the resources. And you can see here, we have actually extended the train nexus bottom floor outwards. There's a lot going on. We're gonna have a lot of big trains running. And a few people have been asking in chat, they've been asking whether I'm going to need extra space for the trains because we're going to have so many freights. Well, the thing is, you don't need to put all your trains at the front of the train. You can also put them behind. So it really doesn't matter if they are extra long. We're still going to have space at the end of the line for extra locomotives. But the downside of extending our nexus is that underneath we've had to remove some of the coal power plants. In fact, we'll probably remove all of these eventually and have to do something else with this area. But it's one of those things. These things happen. We have to keep moving for progress. Well, would you look at that? We've added a load of floors in. We've actually got space for all the conveyors as well. The next thing that we need to do, and as you can see we've started here, is just to bring all of these down. It's going to take a bit of time, but if we can get everything on this floor, we can start sorting everything on the floors above. I also need to do something about this. Yeah, that could work. It won't let me. It won't let me place it. Oh well, we'll sort this out. We'll do it one by one if we have to. But the next thing that we need to do is get all of these elevators down to here, and then we need to sort out a sorting floor for everything else. Oh, the work ahead of us. We've been working a little bit on the system here, and what you're looking at is the inputs for the train stations down here. And what we've done is we're going to have each of these as a single input rather than 2 inputs. And that way we'll have an overflow system. This allows us to make sure that the trains are constantly running at 100% in terms of the bottleneck when there's that little break that you find when loading and unloading a train station. And so what will happen is during that loading break, the resources will buffer up here and also in this section here. Actually, I need to get rid of this. It suddenly occurs to him. I need to get rid of this. We can only have the top one. We can only have the top line as a buffer. Because otherwise this will wait for ages to overflow. It's that, or we have it here, but we don't have room. Anyway, we might put another floor in or something around here. But the idea is that when this overflows, the items will hold in here and then use the second input when it's able to load again. Ah. I thought I was being so smart. Whoopsie. Oh, wait. It could just be, I've done it wrong. I haven't done it wrong. I mean, I have done it wrong, but what I could just do is replace this with a double. So rather than, I've done this all wrong. So we could just have a double. Let's just grab, wrong button. I'm pressing all the wrong things now. Here we go. So if we have no steel pipes either. But if we had this placed, we could then fill it up, buffer it here, and then when it opens up again, we just use both outputs. All we need to make sure is that we have a single input. Oh, don't you just hate it? Don't you just hate it when you spend like 10 minutes doing something and then you're wrong? Story of my life. Well, would you look at that? It's fixed. So we have one input, which is the important thing, going into an industrial container, which has 2 outputs. I'm glad we sorted that. And that's the same for all of these and will be the same for all of the stations. It's going to be a lot of work. So as you can see, we have now finished one line, but chat has insisted that we move on. We do something else. So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to be working on the supports. But one thing I had to make sure, autosave, is that we had room on the very end for a wall, which we do. So that means we can blend it all hopefully in to the build, which I'm looking forward to doing. So this is what we're going to be tackling now, supports. And it's been mentioned in chat, and I'm of the agreement that we need to slope it into like the cliff wall. But it's on a diagonal, which is going to make it hell. This is going to be like the worst thing possible to do. It's going to take me a lot of time. So we're going to get to it and see what we can do. So we've created this support. I think it looks pretty good. We're actually going to repeat this now. So we've done it. We've done our second support. Obviously, it takes a bit of work, but it doesn't take that long. We do need to repeat this further along. I think we'll do it also at regular intervals. So maybe in that section over there, and then going to have to do it along here as well. Well, we did one more thing. We managed to get 3 lines, or at least the majority of 3 lines sorted, ready for sorting in our next episode. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed that's what we do. But it's been a bit of work. But it's coming along. Hopefully we'll just be able to bring the items down and sort them just above. So, yeah. Just need to do each and every one of these train stations as well. Can't wait. Fun. Yes. So we've spent the whole of this stream, of course now we're doing 3 streams a week dedicated to one episode, working on the train Nexus, and more specifically the inputs for the lower trains, which you will now see. It's a new day! once again. And I have to say, looking at these tracks, they're looking gorgeous. I love how they're all coming together in this section. We actually have another line of a further 4 rails that we need for this particular train section. But I'm liking it. I'm liking it. Especially with the supports that we did last week. Well, last week, the other day. The other day as well. But we've got a whole lot more to do. We need a lot more of the supports along here. This is just a concept, which is the same as a lot of our factory. But it's getting there. But more importantly, back at our train Nexus, what we've been doing today here is sorting out all of the inputs. And we're almost there for the input of the lower station. As you can see, we've got the pipes here. What we're doing is a simple system. We're going to have the pipes inputting on this section and then split to 2, similar as to what we're doing over there. And we've also done all of these. So the only stuff left to do is to sort out the buffers along this section and also across the other side of the factory, which are, well, train Nexus. You'll see that we haven't quite done these yet, but it's getting there. In fact, looking at it, it's starting to look really clean. And obviously that's one of the most important things that we're trying to do with this build. So I'm really happy with how it's coming along. We do need to sort out all of these lines because they're each going to be dedicated to one item. We're going to bust them all together. And then we're going to have everything on the top floor, which you can just see the top of. Above this foundation that's just above the sorting, the buffering layer, we'll have all of the sorting being done. So we've got a lot to fit in that space there, but I think it can work. But it's certainly coming together very nicely, if I do say so myself. But that is all for today, more or less, guys, I have to say. We've managed to get a fair amount done. Obviously, we've extended the train station, we've sorted out the buffers, we've added the supports, and yes, I do know there are floating platforms just on the right. That's actually there on purpose because they're a pointer as to which level our supports need to be further along. So that's why I've left them. Normally, we wouldn't have floating supports. It will be sorted out eventually. We also bust all of the resources here. Obviously, they're not turned on yet, but we've busted them all almost to the train station. We've almost got them all there. There's just this section on the left that we haven't done yet. You can see it running halfway along that little ramp there. So we've got a fair amount done, but I have to say thank you so much for watching, guys. And obviously, if you did enjoy the video, please do drop a thumbs up. And obviously, if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. And remember, immediately after this premiere, if you're in with us, if you're enjoying the magical moment of this being released, then you can jump over to Twitch with us immediately after to start the stream together. Why not say hi? Anyway, guys, special thanks does go to our supporters, most notably our Solar Eclipse patrons, the Calamity and Cerebral Tag, as well as our Lunar Eclipse patrons, Chris McCabe and Lord of July, as well as our Blood Moon of the Day, which today is James Irwin. Anyway, guys, until next time, ciao for now.